Now, after Ryan Garcia's recent victory over Javier Fortuna, he has gone out to call Gervonta Tank Davis, and he believes that there should be no obstacles at this moment in time blocking this fight, though he did say if for some reason the fight wasn't able to happen, he would want to fight Teofimo Lopez next. Now, the Teofimo Lopez fight, which is kind of his backup fight, would be a little difficult to make in this point in time because he is getting ready to fight Pedro Campa and make his debut at 140 pounds. So even though they're in the same weight class, Teofimo is held up by another fighter, so the Gervonta Tank Davis fight makes the most sense in my opinion. And I feel like now is the perfect time for the fight between Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis to be made. You know, over the past year, there's been a lot said. People have accused Ryan Garcia of being a clout chaser, using the names of Devin Haney, Gervonta Tank Davis, and Manny Pacquiao, but not fighting them. But he does seem like he's adamant on making this fight happen. So credit where credit's due, because it does seem like Ryan Garcia genuinely wants to fight Gervonta Tank Davis next. Now, it seems like Tank Davis is staying with Mayweather Promotions, so I'm just going to assume he's going to be working with them for, we don't know how many more years, but at least the next couple of fights he will be with Mayweather Promotions. And Tank Davis beat Rolly Romero a month or so ago, so he is not held up. Garcia has gone through his fight against Javier Fortuna, probably his best performance with several knockdowns, and he is also not held up. So they both have no fights scheduled next, so it makes the most sense. This is the right time for Gervonta Tank Davis to take on Ryan Garcia. He is in his late 20s, so he is probably in his prime now from an athletic point of view. Maybe not from a technical point of view. Maybe there's a few more things he could improve technically, but athletically, in terms of what your body can do, I think Gervonta Tank Davis is in his prime, and Ryan Garcia is only going to get better. So this is probably the best time for Gervonta Tank Davis to take the fight, because Ryan Garcia, I think, is in his early 20s. So if he waits a couple more years, Garcia might be a lot more physically stronger and may have developed too much technically, and that might overwhelm Gervonta Tank Davis. I liked how in Ryan Garcia's recent fight against Javier Fortuna, he was able to kind of use his jab and keep distance between him and Fortuna. Obviously, Fortuna is no Gervonta Tank Davis, but Ryan Garcia was able to let the combinations fly, and he does have incredible hand speed. So it'll be interesting to see how Davis can deal with Ryan Garcia's reach and Ryan Garcia's hand speed, and it'll also be interesting to see if Ryan Garcia can hold up against Gervonta Tank Davis, because one of the criticisms of Ryan Garcia is that he has a very rudimentary defense. And is that going to be enough to get by Tank Davis? He might look good against Tank for a few rounds, but once Tank has settled down and figured Ryan Garcia out, does Ryan Garcia have enough defense, or is he just going to, present the high guard, which is very basic? You need to give Tank Davis more to worry about rather than just approaching him with a high guard coming forward, because he will break you down eventually. He is such a big puncher that you've got to be constantly moving around the ring, using footwork and using angles to offset his power. It seems that Ryan Garcia also wants the fight to be at 140 pounds. I mean, I don't think Gervonta Tank Davis would have too much of a problem with fighting at 140 pounds. He fought Mario Barrios at 140 pounds, and this is a fighter who's missed weight before. So clearly, getting down to the lower weight classes isn't particularly easy for him. But he has actually fought lower than 135 pounds when he fought against Leo Santa Cruz. So he can even cut a little bit more weight, but he's probably most comfortable, I'd say, at 135, 140 pounds. Every ounce, every pound cuts when you're weight drained and you're trying to cut weight. So I'm sure, the bonus of 5+ pounds will be easier for him, and he can focus more on technical stuff rather than staying in the sauna and trying to lose weight and just being excessive in his endeavor to cut off the extra 5 pounds. He won't have to worry about those extra few pounds if he makes the fight happen at 140 pounds. So, do you guys in the comment section believe that it's going to be held at 135 pounds, 145 pounds, sorry, 140 pounds, not 145 pounds, my bad? And who do you lot think is the A side for this fight? I mean, if you look at both guys' resumes, you'd have to say this Fortuna win and the Luke Campbell win were Ryan Garcia's two best fighters on his resume. And for Tank Davis, his best wins are probably against, I guess you could say, Gamboa, Barrios, and Rolly Romero. So there's not a huge difference in resume between the two fighters. I know a whole lot of people try to say that, Ryan Garcia doesn't fight anyone, he's a joke. But if you compare his resume to the Gervonta Tank Davis's resume, Tank Davis beat an older, slower Gamboa who was, injured? I think he had troubles with his Achilles virtually half of the fight, if not most of the fight. Oh no, Tank Davis fought Isaac Cruz as well. So yeah, definitely Tank Davis does have a better resume, but I don't think it is way better than Ryan Garcia's resume, especially when you consider their age. Ryan Garcia has fought two good opponents, and Tank Davis has fought, I would say four good opponents. Neither of them have fought anyone elite. The elite guys are a Lomachenko, a Devin Haney. Those are the other elite guys that they could fight. A Kambosos is also a good fighter. A Linares is a good fighter. Jojo Diaz is a good fighter. But the elite guys in that division are Haney, Garcia, Tank, and Lomachenko. So there's only really two guys that they could fight that are elites. So that's my take on it. Who do you lot think has the better resume? I would say Gervonta Tank Davis has the slightly better resume, but not by much. It is close. I'd say he's got about two more good opponents on his resume in comparison to Ryan Garcia, though he is several years older. So the narrative of Ryan Garcia not necessarily fighting good competition, he's still young and the competition eventually goes higher and higher. His next fight, it looks like it will be against Gervonta Tank Davis. A win for either guy is absolutely massive. It would probably put them on the pound for pound list, because currently I don't think most people have Ryan Garcia or Gervonta Tank Davis on their top 10 pound for pound. But a win for either fighter, if it doesn't put them in the top 10, they're definitely in the peripheral. Probably in the top 15, top 12, really pushing a top 10 spot. Obviously, it helps if you have belts, and I'm talking about real belts, not the WBA regular belt that Tank Davis has, because Devin Haney has the real WBA belt. But I just really want to discuss, who do you lot think has more of the claim to be the A side? Because I feel like Ryan Garcia and his fans will say, well, look at the following on social media that Ryan Garcia has. But you really have to ask yourself about the audience and demographic of like his followers on social media compared to Gervonta Tank Davis's followers. I suspect Tank Davis followers are several years older and actual hardcore boxing fans in comparison to Ryan Garcia's following, who was probably more appealing to teenagers and the younger people who are probably not even real boxing fans, or they're probably casuals. So yeah, those are my thoughts on it. I would say Gervonta Tank Davis would be the A side because he has a slightly better resume and he has a WBA regular title. But Ryan Garcia is also a pretty big star. Alright guys, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Alright, peace.